looking dapper.
Tell me about how you influence Tartarus Grave. Tell me how you influence ice, mist, and other forms of water. Can you teach me what you know? What are the philosophical teachings of your magic? From what Archon do the Tidecasters draw upon their magic? I'm guessing you can tell me more than I ever wanted to know about the moons. Have you heard anything from the Tidecasters? Okay, no, I'm going to ask about the philosophical teachings. There's a question I can answer. It would surprise you little to learn that we see all things, people, wars, seasons, to be cyclical, waxing and waning through their various forms, like the tides and light of Tartarus Grave. Okay, I want to learn about this. Tartarus, the planet, has 2 satellites visible by the naked eye. The tide-locked Tartarus... I can't even pronounce the name of the planet. Tartarus Grave, and the rapidly orbiting Interloper. Scholars have long studied the effects of these 2 moons on the ocean currents, and a great deal of folklore concerns the origins of the moons. A common belief is that Kairos' empire is that Tartarus Grave will finally set on the horizon when Kairos' rule ends, whereas those of the Tiers insist the moons are older than the old walls and will outlive even Kairos. Okay. The mind is limited. We're born and spend our lives dodging death. We expect all stories to have a beginning and an end. We assume all things start and stop just like us. In truth, all things are cycles, some by matters of minutes, others by matters of years or lifetimes. In the School of Tides, we appreciate patterns of all sorts. Most are called to the depths. Others find their interests skybound. Many still find the tides of human emotion and political fortunes far more intriguing than inanimate tides found in the orbits and oceans. Okay. From what Archon do the Tidecasters draw upon their magic? I mean, you've already told me, but I'd like to hear more if you're willing to tell me. The first Tidecasters were given the gift of magic by our school's founder, Occulted Jade, Archon of Tides. Occulted Jade, Archon of Tides, is the founder of the School of Tides, as well as its only ruler. Though she wore the title Archon, Occulted Jade never bowed to Kairos, though many have tried to compel her to do so. Having arrived with the settlers that made landfall at 5 Wives, she is perhaps the oldest known living Tiersman. Capable of manipulating the oceans, the moons, and all the transitory forms of water, Occulted Jade used her magic to form a cabal of seafaring traders, musicians, and academicians. And it was the dedication to the art that helped the school endure. For by teaching these trades to the children of noble families, the school remained in the good graces of the realms. Being able to control most anything cyclical and fluid, Occulted Jade has lived for centuries and could still be alive today, but none know with certainty. In the years before conquest, the School of Tides discovered the Overlord's plan to invade. Despite all assumptions that the Tier's resident Archon would defend her school and home, to the surprise of everyone, the Archon vanished across the seas, taking nearly the entire School of Tides with her into exile across the uncharted waters. Very well. Though she was not of Kairos' ilk, she was as powerful as any Archon, and from her name and legacy, we can mimic the moon's pull on the seas and change the currents. That is the planet. We've already read that one, I believe. Yes. Okay. And it's from her that we have spells to turn the moon pleasant hues in a baleful ray of searing grave light. In all these years, I have not grown tired of the thrill of power. It's a rush of carnal humours every time. Okay, grave light. Okay. Grave light is the magical term for the light of the moon, Tartarus Grave, specifically when harnessed and manipulated for nefarious purposes. While the moon's rays are normally incapable of causing so much as a mild sunburn, the Tidecasters have long studied magic and can concentrate these rays into bolts and beams of searing doom. The Tidecasters have spent centuries trying to mimic and control the moon's tidal pull on the oceans, and will often mention that diverting moonlight is the easy stuff compared to pulling and pushing the tides. But modern times have forced the School of Tides to concentrate on the more martial applications of this magic. How do you influence Tartarus Grave? Trade secret. Not one I'm going to talk about. The School of Tides dies with me, and so too will this. And don't bother trying to change my mind on this matter. I'll just get ugly quickly. Okay. Tell me how you influence ice, mist, and other forms of water. No, it's probably the same. Can you teach me what you know at all? I suppose I'm capable of it, but no. The secret of the Archon of Tides dies with me. Alright then. That's fair enough. I'm guessing you can tell me more than I ever wanted to know about the moons. No, I'm not going to say that. Have you heard anything from the Tidecasters that left before the war? No. And I don't like entertaining the hope. Those cowards are all gone. If they didn't die at sea, they're dead to me. Oh, okay. I reserve the right to be pleasantly surprised if they come back, eager to fight the good fight. But I'm not holding my breath. All the brave Tidecasters died. Present company accepted. Okay. We can talk about other arcane matters then.
You know, I normally charge for this, but for you...
Do you know anything of the magic of the Archons? Enough to know I'm out of my element, that is to say, I've studied many Archons a great deal, and I have a great number of hypotheses and conjectures, but, well, I'm no expert yet. And like most who have invoked the Archons of times past to work magic, I do wonder what difference of birth or experience gives one the magical potential to be an Archon. Most of my studies have been into the question of origins of form. It's known that we can emulate the magic of Archons that came before us, but is it possible to tap into the magic of Archons yet to be? So far, the answer seems to be no. Ooh. So this is basically touching on what Lantry was talking about. She looks at the ground with a rumpled smirk. You know anything about the old walls and the spires? Not enough. Never enough. Ebb smiles, twirling her staff in her hands. As a child, I was terrified of the old walls. I think that's true of most folk. Now that I can arc gravelight with a wiggle of my fingers, well, I think I'm a shriveled old hag. Dying in the old walls would be a great way to go. Okay, fair enough. What can you tell me about Bane? What I know is largely taken from Master Cambriel's work and some near-fatal experience venturing close to the old walls. Okay, so Bane are in old walls. As best I understand it, the Bane are bits of magical will that have an extended life of their own. I'm of the belief that they nest or reproduce in old walls. The only place you regularly find them. Okay. Our magic attracts the Bane. And that much I know to be true firsthand. Again, this is personal theory, but I'm guessing they eat or drink magic. So our spells are invitations to dine. Well, that is rubbish to hear. So when we fight Bane, no magic. Poop. Alright, let's change the subject then. Tell me about yourself. What would you like to know? Tell me about your name. Well, I was born Hazen Levnj. Is that J like Levnya or something? But for most of my life, and I suppose for all of the days after, I've known and will be known as Ebb. Tidecaster Ebb, for those trying to be obscurious. I have no idea what this word is. It doesn't even taste nice. I've also probably used a bunch of aliases that are going to haunt me at some point. Haven't we all? Thinking back to my earlier screen names. Well. Hazen, didn't realize you were nobility. What? How'd you get that nickname? Let's change that. Is Hazen nobility? It hasn't got green text. Okay. I know. I dress myself and cook my own food. So misleading. Mother was a magistrate of Ardent. Father was admiralty. It's mostly meaningless, though. Our lands are now the overlords. Okay. How'd you get the nickname? Obsequious. Obsequious. Okay, Martin, thank you. Obsequious. It's one of those not especially funny jokes that stuck long past its season. I wrote the word Ebb incorrectly on a written examination. Master Folvax started calling me Ebb from then on. He claimed it fit me. Said I was a cynical little shit that always sees the ebb, never the flow. Fair enough. Let's change the subject. Did you always want to be a tidecaster? So when I was a little girl, what I really wanted was to be a marine. The burly bitch at the prow of a trireme. First to crack some skulls when the ships rammed. You know, an honest living. Fortunately, the school sought me out before I got myself killed at sea. School of Tides was looking for new blood, and my father was an admiral of Havens, so the school wanted me for the political connections. I got to spend my first couple of years proving I actually belong with the Tidecasters. That was fun. What did you do in the years before the war? My husband was born in Apex, and he left his prosperous lands to be with me. So when the nest was empty, it seemed right we leave my homeland and see his side of the tears. We had a year and a bit to ourselves before the war upturned things. We saw all of Apex. I took him along my old sailing routes around Five Wives and Sunder. Those were good times. Then came the war, and I learned I would be one of the last Tearsmen to live free of Kairos. Ever since then, I think Oathbreaker has technically been my chosen profession. Fair enough. You mentioned your husband. Tell me about your family. Oh, damn. They're gone. She shrugs with the skull. As is my ability to enjoy reminiscing about such things. Drat. Yeah, our reputation needs to be brought up a bit. How did you fall in with the Vendrian Guard? What does it matter now that they're gone? They seem the last hope for the Tears, and ninny shitting fuck of a chance is still more than no chance at all. Well, okay, fair enough. Okay, change the subject then. What can you tell me about the Archons of the Tears? What do you know of Arcane Society? I'd like to ask you about our travel companions. Yeah, I'll get your feel for my companions and then we'll move on. She nods, silently awaiting your follow-up. What do you make of Barak?
My one concern with Barak is that he's still loyal to Graven Ash and not to you. Barak seems steadfast, faithful, and dependable. But if it comes down to you versus Graven Ash, therein lies the test.
Yeah, that is my concern as well. If we went to tactical asset, it'd be fun to try and pry him out of that suit. Curious to see if his midsection is as strong, firm, and taut as I've imagined it should be. Well, kind of wish that Barak was in the party when I asked that, my lord. What about verse?
We should consider ourselves fortunate that one of the most deadly members of the Scarlet Furies considers you a suitable gang leader. That said, I think her involvement with you is entirely suspect. I would wager good money the voices of Neratis listening through her, or perhaps seeing what she sees.
A concern that I have as well. What about Lantry?
Probably the only word thief I haven't wanted to dismember. Him? I'd merely play with an ice knife.
Okay. The Wandering Scholar thing seems an act. It's always an act with the sages, always pretending to know less than they really do. I'm sure he's got 1,000 reasons for why he's not like them or more trustworthy than the rest, but I know his type, and so I don't trust him. Oh, that's high praise coming from you. Really, Lantry. I'm going to take this staff and repeatedly jam it in your backside until you prolapse. Oh my god, Ebb, really? Just like that. Balance is restored to all known existence. You had me worried there. Wow, Ebb. Wow. Let's change the subject.
Ask away.
My god. Okay, let's return to our travels. I can't even. Seriously, Ebb. Wow. What is this? Tenderizer? Okay. Let's have a look at armor. I don't really want to give you anything too heavy. Sage's Hood, light armor. Deflection 1%. Deflection 5%. Recovery 0.2. Basically doesn't add any recovery, but this is a little bit better overall. We lose that awesome hair though. But that actually looks like it makes sense on you, so we'll go with that. We've got some other heavy armor here, nothing particularly suitable. Light armor. Let's have a look at these. A little bit more recovery, but it is better in general, so sure, we'll upgrade to that. The gloves are significantly better. Yeah, significantly better. Let's get those. Why have I got the Scholar's gloves? My lord. Scholar's raiments, no. Merchant's hat, no, we're good, thank you. Heavy armor, heavy armor. Is there anything else here? Can I go down? Is there more stuff in there? Yes, there's loads more. Ah, right, okay. There we go. Doesn't really change anything there. But does that look better? Yes, actually, I think that does look better. So we're going to go with that one. We're playing Fashion Souls right now, if you couldn't tell. Scholar's Boots. No. Obviously not. Ooh, no, that's heavy armor. Can I go item type? There we are. It's a little bit easier. So much heavy. Okay. Well, that's good. Have I got any accessories new? What about weapons then? Once again, item types. So we've currently got a staff, a syzygy. Two-handed, it's a staff, arcane damage. Freezing. Only I can equip it. Let's have a look. Oh, I know I can hide the helmet. Thank you. I don't like doing that. If I'm giving them a helmet, I want to see it. And so there is a Fashion Souls element there as a result. It's like, okay, you know what? If your hair is so amazing, then I will just not give you a helmet. I'm not going to have any crazy vanishing helmets. Eb's staff, Syzygy, is a fearsome specimen of the modern Tidecaster staff, a bladed polearm with a much more martial, intimidating construction than the humble and hand-carved wooden staves of the first Tidecasters repurposed for sailing oars. Festooned about the haft are etchings of the celestial dance between the sun, Terratus, and the moons. On weapon crit, foe target is parry, frozen for 6 seconds. Alright. Not bad. Not bad at all. Let's have a look at some of these other arcane staffs. Staff of Atrophy. Staff of Boreal Frost. Doesn't really give any special quality. Earth Shaker Staff. Yeah, not giving any particular special qualities. The freezing is the thing I'm liking there. Bronze War Mace. Yeah, we don't want Keen Javelin. I could give you a javelin in your other hand. That actually might be kind of cool. Yeah, I like the idea of you having that. Have we got a shield at all? Doesn't look like we do, unfortunately. But that's fine. You're mostly going to be having your staff out. That said, though, are these ranged? Oh, yes. Yes, they are. Range 8 meters. So, yeah, I imagine this is the same and has a range on it. Yeah. Okay, well, either way, we've set you up correctly. Now, I would like to take Ebb out for a little while. Oh, I can change your primary colors. No, I'm going to leave those as are. But without Barak, I'm a little bit concerned. I'm going to be honest with you. Quite concerned. Let's have a compare of this. Praying. This hammer is best handled during moments of desperation when confusion and blood loss bring about a second wind of energy, allowing the wheels to swing tenderizer with wild abandon. Plus 0.5% bonus damage for every 1% missing health. Wow. Okay. It's better than the Ardent Broadsword. /pierce. I'm not really sure that this would really be the best thing for me to have, though. But I kind of like the idea of having it there. It's kind of savage in a way. Sure, we'll go with that. Alright. So, we're going to be leaving Barak here for a little bit. And we're going to head out, hopefully to get Ebb a level. Where we go from there, I'm not sure. Right, let's head on down. Ascension Hall, Vendrian's Well Citadel. Actually, there were a couple of things in and about that I would like to go and check out. Are you sure you want to instantly teleport from Mount Spire, Vendrian's Well, to Ascension Hall? Yes. If nothing else, I can just wander around. I'm hoping that maybe I can find something and get a little tiny bit of experience. Though chat just noted that
Stepping lightly.
actually you always get... Everyone gets level ups as you go. So maybe that would be worth us not going about then. Can I get that? Whatever it is. We've got a bent bronze dagger and a rusted iron sword. Take all. Because without having no tank is kind of scary. The intricacies of this architecture suggest a master of craftsmanship that is far beyond what one would expect from a normal tiersman. And the stone throne is cracked with a solid layer of dust. No one has set foot upon it for quite some time. Anything else in here? Nope. Nope. It seems that there's nothing else to look at in here. This could technically be our tank, I believe, if I changed her fighting stance, her battle stance to plus 20 dodge. Barak would be the better one for it, I think. Still, I'm tempted to just pop out and have a look around a little bit first.
Let's try not to stand out, shall we?
On it.
I agree. Let's try not to. That is not going to work, though, but we'll try. Right. Path to power. Speak with Barak. Barak wishes to discuss something with you. Talk to him. What? Really? God damn it. Fine. Oh my god, Barak, really? I left for like 5 seconds. You're already fretting up there. Can't believe this. How do I get back up to the spire? Do I just go through the teleporter in here? I would assume so. No, don't be stealthy. We don't need to be. Go back up then. Seriously, Barak. Okay, Barak, what's up? Fatebinder, if you have a moment. Barak stands at attention, his rigid bearing making of him an unmoving statue. I know that the two of us have clashed on several subjects since the Iron Marshal assigned me to your protection. I hope those disagreements do not weigh too heavily against the request I'm about to make of you. If it's a hug you're looking for, I've got some bad news. Max Barak, just tell me what's on your mind. Okay, tell me what's on your mind. I hope that perhaps the adjudicator would hear my case. Oh, okay. What are you talking about? I have been encased in this... He wraps a gauntlet against the shards of corroded iron and bronze that sweep across his chest. Shell, since Kairos' Edict of Storms made a grave of old stalwart. It occurred in service to the Overlord, and I would ask that the Overlord free me of its burden. Okay. That's reasonable. Tunon can't order Kairos to take your armor off, but I'll make your case for what it's worth. Thank you, Fatebinder. His salute rings like a poorly cast bell. I eagerly await the Archon's judgment. That was an interesting one. Petition Tunon on Barak's behalf. Barak requested that you petition Tunon, the adjudicator, to have his armor removed. Speak with Tunon in the court in Bastard City. Okay. But I am really, really worried about not having a spellcaster with me. I'm sort of tempted to take Ebb instead of Elantri. I think having more spellcasters is not the right way to go right now. Because we're already so heavily spellcaster focused. Because Aavak is not a tank. Alright, Barak, you're with me. The spire allows for such a long and uninterrupted view. Barak glances over the edge with hesitation and then shivers. I find restraint and limitations more to my liking, though it is nice to feel a breeze running through these plates of solid rust.
You look as if you have something on your mind. By all means.
Placing his weapon to his side, Barak salutes you. The joints of his armor groan in protest.
What can I do for you?
Oh, okay, so we're talking again. Suit up, Barak, we're leaving.
If you would have me travel at your side, then I am not opposed to seeing more of this degenerate realm. Onward.
Very well. Ebb,
Attack homeward. See you there.
I'm super sorry, but I do need my tank with me. It is kind of important. Right, 2 Vendrians well then. We might be able to loot some stuff that was out there. Okay, we actually appeared right outside. Very well. Main gate. Loot. Probably. Yes, loot. Loot. I'm going to collect loot. So much loot. Very well. Come here. We've got random gubbins. Okay. I would like to be inside where there is probably more random gubbins. Yes, in fact, there is right there. There may even be some random gubbins over here too, if I recall. But then we are going to move out. And wow, it has been long coming that we should be leaving. Yeah, nothing there. Okay. I've got a bronze javelin. That's fine. We'll take that too. Okay, and with that, we are finally going to head out there and do some things in the world, you know? It is the 24th span of swords. Farmer's Day, sorry. Okay, so do I... Oh, I just go straight out. Okay. Oh, wow, that's a long way. My lord. Burning Library, can't go there. This area is currently inaccessible, so is Iron Hearth. Alright, so there's actually very few places I can go to. Oh. Right, well, Ashwald. 2 days, 21 hours, and 15 minutes to complete your journey. I accept. Oh. Encounter in Vendrian's Well. Your progress is arrested by the appearance of a gang in crimson and leather who round the corner ahead of you. Oh shit! Verse mutters. The Ass Gang. Really? There's a gang called the Ass Gang. She shrugs at your questioning glance. I ran with them for a bit. They note your approach, weapons at ease. The foremost gang member raises a hand in greeting. Leave. Attack the gang. I'll hail the gang. You raise your own hand in response, greeting the approaching gang. The leader's head is half-shaven, and a pale sickle of the scar curves down her cheek to the corner of her thin lips. Fatebinder, she says, bowing her head slightly. Verse, her tone is cold. Her eyes narrowed at your Scarlet Fury compatriot. You don't much care about the slippery loyalty of low dogs. Mutts can't help but nip at their betters. Chuckles from the other members of her gang. But Verse, she betrayed the chorus, and that demands a scalp. Sorry, Verse answers. I'm flat out of spare scalps. Clever ass. The one you're using will do nicely. Another member of the gang says. Verse looks to you. You want to fight? I'm happy to oblige. Your call, Binder. I'm going to attempt athletics.
You learn something every day.
You step between the gang and Verse, your hand going to your weapon. You remind them of your rage and anger at Vendrian's Well, of your actions during the conquest, the widows you left crying and the orphans you left alone, of your choices since. You ask them if they truly want to delay a Fatebinder of Tunon the Adjudicator over an insignificant matter of pride. By the time you finish, they've all backed up a pace. With a final glare at Verse, the choirmen step out of the road to let you pass. I gained a ridiculous amount of stuff there. I could have handled that, you know. Chastise her for causing trouble. Glare silently. She meets your glare with a grin and gestures down the road towards the destination. Shall we? Okay, no injuries. Okay, Fear 2. Almost at Fear 3 now. And, yeah. Scarlet Chorus, that wrath is starting to add up a bit. Perhaps I should have let him fight. Wow, Bleden Mark makes his camp in an interesting place. Okay. Let's have a look then. Bleden Mark, this place definitely deserves its name. Alright. I'm not just going to randomly walk into the place. I was told to come here, but I wasn't told to approach. Obviously. The fire that emanates from the tree creates long dancing shadows that stretch across the scorched earth. If you look hard enough, you can see the shadows pulse occasionally, as if they have a life of their own. Oh. For someone who can walk through shadows, a place that is lit by dancing fire is probably amazing. Lines of colour emerge from the darkness. What at first appears a vaguely human stain coalesces into focus. Bleden Mark, Archon of Shadows, emerges from his medium. Long strands of white hair crown his head, trailing down to his shoulder blades, where the white hair loses shape and definition, becoming a shadowy mist. His red face paint and orange tattoos are the sole patches of warm colour of his otherwise dark, ebony skin.
The Archon of Shadows. Ready for battle. For anything.
Barak raises his weapons, bracing with his shoulders squeezed together.
Fatebinder, been a while since you saw me, but not since I saw you.
The Archon clears his throat, folding his arms across his chest. With his hands resting above the bandolier of knives girdled across his midsection.
Think before you speak next. I'd hate to have to kill you.
I got your message. What do you want, or glare silently? I mean, glare silently could be me thinking. I think I'm gonna... Yeah, I'm gonna go with... He told me to think, so I'm gonna think.
Khalil and I have a bit of a wager on you. I thought you'd get yourself gutted in the civil war between the chorus and disfavored before year's end. Live a little longer, and you will make her a rich woman.
Okay. I got your message.
I saw what you did at Ascension Hall. You were right to take matters into your own hands. I can't believe the audacity of Ash and Narat, squabbling while an edict looms overhead, endangering all their vassals. You were right to treat such infantile antics with justice, raw and bloody.
I'm glad that he sees it the way I saw it.
From where I stand, I would say you chose wisely. Why cater to the whims and agendas of questionable friends? Why whore your power for the approval of others? Allies are just enemies with great patience.
I love that saying.
Such distractions and make your own way.
Allies are just enemies with great patience. What a delightfully cynical way of looking at the world. So what are you suggesting I do next? Why are you so interested in helping me? How can I trust you? Make your own, my own way. What exactly do you mean by that? Not interested in whatever it is you have to say. Why are you so interested in helping me?
Boredom, maybe. Old scores to settle. Plus, you're a member of the court, even if in questionable standing. That makes you family of a type. Of course.
I like that.
I plan to use you to accomplish a few things I want done. Anyone who says otherwise lacks initiative or honesty.
Or both. So what are you suggesting I do next?
If you really want your freedom from Tunon and the others, you'll need to become something the Archons cannot obliterate without breaking a sweat. There are a few relics around the tiers that, if they wound up in your hands, might give you a fighting chance.
Oh, I like that. I like the sound of artifacts.
The Burning Library holds a very important treasure, the Silent Archive. There's much the sages do not know, but all that they know should be contained within the archive. Retrieve it, and in so doing, end the Edict of Fire.
Ooh, now that is a big ask. Oof. I'm tempted to go think I'll fall for that setup. Yeah, I'm gonna go for this one. You tell him to go grab a book full of criminal teachings.
Can't fault you for being suspicious. You'll need that skill if you want to live. And yes, I'm telling you to go nab a relic filled with heretical lore. I didn't
like
say
heretical
brag to
lore.
tune on about it. And if I wanted to trick you into holding incriminating evidence, I can think of easier ways.
Fair. All of that is fair. Yes. Okay. Well, how does one break the Edict of Fire?
The Edict of Fire will burn so long as the Sage's forbidden lore remains within the library. To fulfill the edict, I'd suggest disposing of any sages still in the library and removing any books filled with teachings contrary to Kairos. This no doubt includes the Silent Archive.
Ah, okay. That's actually an interesting one. Why should I break the edict, though?
Why? Because Kairos worded the edict to be broken, and others will fear and respect you for being the one to make it happen.
That is fair. That is actually very fair. I assume the Silent Archive is a book or a scroll of some sort?
I would guess as much. I have not seen it with my own eyes, only heard tell, whispered with reverence. For all I know, it's a singing stone or an arcane quill, but knowing the sages, a book is the best guess.
That's actually fair. And I don't think you're simply going to saunter into the library, walk up to the archive and take it. If it were that easy, someone would have already done it. The sages love making things difficult. The archive is said to be hidden behind a barricade made from arcane energy. Only someone with knowledge of the passcode can get through it. I don't know about you, but I'm fresh out of spare passcodes. I do happen to have a lantry, which probably means that I may in fact have a passcode. Fortunately for you, the sages can be dumb as they are infuriating. They supposedly left parts of the passcode around the library. If you were to find all of them, you could use that to get past the barricade. Unfortunately for you, I have no clue where they are. So, I hope you like sifting through soot and burned parchment, because you're about to get your fill.
Assuming you don't get yourself charred to a crisp, meet me here again after, and we'll discuss what comes next.
Okay, I'm going to glare silently. The Archon dissolves into the shadows. Oh, I like his character. Oh, I super like his character, actually. Oh, I've got a missive. Things fell apart. Baitbinder Aavak, I have received word that your former allies have rescinded your welcome among their camps. Accusations of treachery and sedition hound you. I receive daily demands that I hold you accountable with a public trial and execution. I have assured all that I would investigate these claims thoroughly. Be warned that we all inevitably answer for our choices. You are no exception. In the meantime, I understand the Bleden Mark has taken particular interest in you. I trust there is no need to illustrate the implications of his attention. That is completely fair. I can't even reply to that one. Straight up, yeah, you're in trouble. Oh. Oh no! I didn't go to the Bastard City. Ah, of course. Right. See, there we go. That's the thing with this. I like this. I like this a lot. See, initially I was thinking, and as I weighed my choices, oh, maybe I should go straight there, but I didn't. Instead, I went to speak with Bleden Mark. That is very interesting. Okay. I had wondered going straight there, and then I started planning out my route. I didn't really think that I'd have that much time, but yeah, that's a good point. But it's interesting that Bleden Mark and Tunon are both considering this. Let me have a look at Tunon. Yeah, I mean, I'm not much favor there, but interesting all the same. I've got a talent point, apparently. Level up for me. I could increase this. It would increase a few things. Athletics would go up a little bit. Athletics parry. Control life would go up. Control force, my law. At this point, I'm very heavily just barreling down the whole thing for more law, really. That being said, minus 9% ability and spell cooldown. Yeah, I think I'm actually going to grab some of that. Definitely starting to feel that. Okay, so we've got a couple of choices. Magic. I need another point in there if I really want to. Cone of Magic. Channel Burst of Energy. Doesn't really strike me as something I want there. Leadership, though. I haven't actually used this. Fuse Pain. Generate an aura of will that removes a harmful effect from you and an ally every few seconds. 2 arms. As defensive bonus to you and nearby party members when the thrust ability is used. Or Will of Command. Use your commanding will to inspire allies, boosting the damage of you and your party for a short time. Second Wind. Grants additional spell slots to everyone in the party. While in combat, your party members that fight near you gain bonus to each of their attributes. Abundant Arms. Seize the initiative. Swap positions. Point to a fallen ally and command them to rejoin the fight. It's amazing. How dare you die? Get back up. Everyone in the party regains a portion of the maximum health when a party member kills an enemy. Call to battle. Inspire a companion. Granting bonus might, whiz, and vitality. The bonus increases based on their loyalty. Victory and defeat. Once per combat, when your health becomes critical, nearby allies have their damage and quickness increased for a short time. Apply the lash. Exhort a companion to improve the battlefield. Finally, Undying. Plant your banner on the battlefield. You and your party members near the banner regenerate health and receive a bonus to damage. That's pretty good. To interrupt the target, delaying the next attack. Shield Slam. Focus Strike. Adds armor penetration to thrust ability and increases accuracy. Arcane Charge. Adds the spell Breached Affliction to thrust attacks. Also grants a bonus to magic skills for a short time after using thrust. I mean, that is a decent one. Attacking from stealth. Weaken your target. Wardmaster adds physical protection to energy shield and causes hostile spells that target the recipient of your energy shield to be less effective. Expanded, increase the number of additional spell slots granted by Expanded Mind. Imbue the elemental shock. Adds shock. Oh, see, these start getting really nice. And empowered chaos. It's a difficult one to know what to go for here. Really difficult. I think it's going to be leadership, though. Party gains the use of an additional weapon slot. That doesn't impress me too much. But having an aura that will remove harmful effects or defense bonus to you and nearby party members when the thrust ability is used is good. This one's kind of cool. I like passives. Cooldown is 1 minute, though. That is pretty amazing. "30 seconds of increased damage" is also really good. But no, I think I'm going to go to two arms. There we go. But yes, now I know. Time is of the essence most times. Very, very interesting. Alright, let's move on out.